basically to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in...
It started with a chuckle and ended with a legal bombshell. At least that's how the internet saw it. Joe Rogan, the MMA-commentating, elk-eating, Spotify-dominating voice of the internet age, is reportedly firing back at the panel of The View with the one thing they never saw coming, a $100 million defamation lawsuit. And this isn't some passing tabloid rumor. If it sticks, it could turn the world of daytime TV and influencer commentary into a legal war zone. The clash of worlds, brash podcasting versus polished network television, came to a head after The View hosts, notably Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Whoopi Goldberg, repeatedly took aim at Rogan on air, and not just for his controversial opinions. No, this time they accused him, on national television, of being a purveyor of misinformation and a dangerous media figure, with all the righteousness of a panel that treats gossip like gospel and sarcasm as substitute for fact.
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur-y type.
The jabs were many. They scoffed at his views on health, mocked his interviews with unorthodox guests, and, most memorably, accused him of believing in dragons. Yes, dragons. The View, trying to summarize Rogan's expansive catalog of out-there conversations, cherry-picked one offbeat comment and ran with it like it was his political platform. He believes in dragons, Behar declared, sparking a round of mockery from the table. What followed wasn't laughter. It was Rogan clapping back with his own unique brand of vengeance. No tweet storm, no tantrum. Just the cold, calculated slam of a $100 million defamation lawsuit. No warning, no mercy. The gloves were off, and so was the filter. The opening salvo came fast. A barrage of legal filings stacked with receipts, videos, transcripts, context, you name it. Rogan's legal team, likely paid by the hour in high six figures, wasn't playing games.
Worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and...
The message was loud and clear. Accuse a man with a $200 million empire of being a public threat on live television, and you better be ready to prove it. This wasn't about opinions. It was about reputation. It was about livelihood. When you call someone dangerous, when you accuse them of spreading harmful lies, and when you do it in front of millions of viewers as a trusted TV figure, the law doesn't consider that just chatting over coffee. That's influence. And if you've got no hard evidence, that's defamation. The View might have thought their set was a safe zone, that as long as it was wrapped in applause and followed by a commercial break, anything they said was immune to accountability. But Joe Rogan doesn't care about applause. He cares about facts and fighting back. He responded on his podcast, the largest in the world, torching their takes with surgical precision. Not with rage, but with mockery. They said I believe in dragons, he deadpanned, chuckling as he changed his Twitter bio to read, Dragon Believer, just to troll them. And then he pivoted to the real issue, the damage done by their baseless commentary. He pointed out how these narratives ripple beyond the surface. Spotify pays him hundreds of millions, yes.
We said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is and Joe Rogan believes in...
But those dollars come with strings, with ad partners, with reputational considerations. And when media figures call him a dangerous liar with no backup, those strings can snap. This wasn't Rogan being thin-skinned. It was Rogan protecting the machine he built. The machine that not only broadcasts to millions daily, but pays hundreds of people, moves markets, and sets media agendas. Meanwhile, The View scrambled. Behar, who delivered most of the inflammatory commentary, went quiet. Goldberg, normally unshakable, resorted to her old deflection tactic. It's just our opinion. Hostin leaned into vague legalese, mumbling about free speech and editorial responsibility, but none of that held water. Because once your opinion is broadcast to millions and framed as fact, it stops being just your opinion. It becomes a weapon. And in this case, Rogan alleges it was a weapon wielded recklessly. ABC, sensing the heat, activated Disney's legal cavalry. Corporate panic swept through the network. Emergency meetings, crisis PR, quiet calls to lawyers.
No, I don't know. Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are...
Was a retraction needed? An on-air clarification? maybe even a behind-the-scenes settlement. Insiders claimed ABC execs were considering an apology segment, thinly veiled as clarifying statements. The kind of damage control that screams, "We know we messed up but can't legally admit it." Because they know dragging this to trial would be a nightmare. Not just because Rogan has the resources to see it through, but because public opinion is on his side. Reddit exploded. YouTube comments filled with support. Twitter became a war zone. Memes, reaction threads, legal hot takes. The internet roared, with a unity rarely seen. And it wasn't just Rogan's fans. Even casual observers were asking, why is it okay for TV hosts to slander people with no consequences? This lawsuit hit a cultural nerve, because it wasn't just about Rogan. It was about the rules. They're what people can say about others in public without proof. The rules for what constitutes dangerous speech versus edgy commentary. And most importantly, the rules for who gets to say it. The View, long seen as a safe haven for progressive, hot takes and middle-aged media snark, suddenly looked like a liability.
Run by ABC News, you should trust us, not Joe Rogan.
A rabies-infested henhouse, as one commenter put it. Entertaining, sure, but dangerous? That was a question nobody at ABC wanted to answer in court. The network hoped the noise would die down. It didn't. Rogan wasn't letting it. Each time he addressed the controversy, he did so with calm, collected jabs, like a black belt sparring with amateurs, never losing his cool, always delivering the punchline. But make no mistake, the legal firepower behind him was locked in. The implications? Massive. If the lawsuit succeeds even partially, it would draw a bold red line between entertainment and liability. It would tell talk shows, influencers, and even TikTok streamers, you can't just throw accusations like confetti and hope no one sues you. If it affects a person's income, contracts, or credibility, there's a price. And it might be $100 million that has everyone watching their words.
Who believes in dragons.
Creators started adding disclaimers. Allegedly became the internet's new favorite word. Influencers started double-checking scripts. Talk show writers got nervous. Because what started as Joe Rogan versus The View was quickly evolving into free speech versus consequence. And as always, Rogan did what he does best. He let others implode while he stayed calm, shirtless, sipping something strange, watching from his sauna like a Zen philosopher with a shotgun. Will this case ever make it to court? Maybe not. ABC. And Disney may cut a fat check to bury it quietly. But the damage is done. The warning shot has been fired. And every media figure from New York to LA just heard it. Because now, if you accuse someone with no proof, the question isn't, can I say this? It's, can I afford to? And Joe Rogan? He can afford anything, but he's done paying with his reputation.